these are all the parts we will need for the snow-covered Christmas trees or pine trees. For the most part, we need the 1x2 plates with the 3 teeth. I have about 85 of them, and it could change from one tree to another, and you'll see why. These 1x1 cones in reddish brown, the 3x3 cross plate in reddish brown, some studs just in case, as you will see, for height adjustment, 1x1 plates and 1x1 round plates, and the 4 height antenna. Now we're ready to begin. I already prepared 4 of these rows of 14 1x2 plates with 3 teeth. Have them stacked like this, almost like a step ladder, and they all have to go in the same direction. So if you started with the teeth facing out, going upward diagonally like this, make sure they make the mistake of stacking them the other way. Make sure that all of your rows go up with the same sequence, with the teeth facing the same side. We got 4 times 14, and then we have 3 of these 5 1x2 plates, and the rest are loose, as we will use them as needed as we're building. So we will begin with the 3x3 cross plate as the base for the Christmas tree, and we will place these 1x2 plates with 3 teeth beneath it. Alright, and now to strengthen the base, we will use 4 more plates to strengthen the connection at the base of the Christmas tree or pine tree. And now, as you can see, we have this great possibility of using a 1x1 brick or 1x1 round brick, probably, on our mock. For now, I will leave it hollow, and we will continue from there. At this point, place 4 of the rows of 1x2 plates with 3 teeth, as so. So it should look like a funky looking white starfish, kind of. Before we start spiraling the rows, we will prepare our stem or trunk. We will prepare the tree trunk with the 1x4 with the 4 height antenna, and we will stack these cones over it. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we will do 7 for this one. I didn't give you guys a specific number because every tree is different, and you can adjust the height based on how tight the spiral is. Over here, make sure you take your time, because if you do rush this, it won't look as good, and you will have issues of stability and aesthetics as you work your way up. So, as you can see, Each row is perpendicular to the base. We want to make sure we bring that to a parallel almost to the sides of our 3x3 foundation. So we're actually making a square almost, I'd say almost parallel. I'll leave it out a little bit and we'll start curving. We don't want it to look like a total square, so I said parallel for the sake of simplicity, but there, it's kind of ballooned, so it doesn't look quite square. From this point onward, take your time in bending each individual plate so it doesn't look blocky. I'll make sure we give the tree a curvature, and if it ever breaks, don't worry, just snap it back on. The connection between plates is surprisingly sturdy. Alright, now we want to try to get a tight spiral going. The looser the spiral, the wider the tree. The tighter the spiral, the narrower the tree. And for this example, we're going to try to go with tight spiral. And if it ever snaps off, don't worry. Snap it back on and continue. Alright, so we're gonna begin, and take your time because a rushed spiral will be obvious. So do this slowly. One row over another, spiraling perfectly with barely any gap. I'm gonna keep on spiraling. At this point, we're working with 4 sides. Eventually, we're gonna work with 3, and then with 2, and then with 1. As the Christmas tree, pine tree, has a cone shape, we're gonna make sure that the spiral gets tighter as we work our way up. We're making a cone. But try to imagine a cone as you're building the Christmas tree. And eventually, we're gonna come to 4 sides. Try to make this as square as possible, like so. Okay. At this point, we can, if our spiral isn't too tight, the plates will not be so bent and they will be at equal height. But sometimes the plates might be a little offset, and in that case we won't need height adjustment. But in this case, because all of them are at a similar height, I like to use a plate. From this point onward, it's I like to go by feel because every tree looks different. But as long as you know that you are narrowing it down to 3 sides and then to 2 and 1, the tree will look nice. Over here we'll use a row of 5 plates. I will place them as so. Continuing our spiral sequence, but now with 3 sides. And 1 side with height adjustment in order to reduce the sides from 4 to 3. Alright, we want to make sure we have a tight spiral, so we could finish the shape and narrow this down to 2 sides and keep the spirals tight. Okay. Now we'll use another stud for height adjustment. As we have 2 plates at equal height, we need studs for height adjustment. So one side could spiral over the other. We will use the stud over here. Now we're trying to reduce the 3 sides to 2 sides. In this case, I don't think we need the 7th cone, so we will snap off the 7th cone. I would recommend actually 6 cones, but every tree is different. This build does require some skill, so if you don't get it perfectly the first time, just restart from the beginning and eventually you will get it. Okay, now we are narrowed it down to 3 sides. Now we will narrow it down to 2 sides. Finally. By adding another stud for height adjustment. We're down to 2 sides on top. I will try to narrow that down to 1. We will add another stud for height adjustment. For this example, we used 85 1x2 plates, but you can use more if you'd like. Actually, I will use a few more for a little bit more height. And due to tilted plates near the top, this allows us to have the cone angles, or in the cone illusion. The closer you get, the more obvious the plates are. Waiting for a focus there. But the further we get from the pine trees, the part usage isn't as obvious, and you have that ruffled, snow-covered pine tree look, with each one having a little bit of a unique touch. As after a certain point, you get to make the adjustments you like based on the spirals you had, as every spiraling situation can end up requiring height adjustments and other kind of touch-ups. So this build does require some skill. Up to a certain point it's straightforward, and then onward you have to use some skill to narrow it down to 2 and 1 side by making it keep its integrity and shape as a cone. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, make sure you throw a thumbs up. And I will have my website up by the beginning of 2022, where you can purchase this pine tree and other cool stuff we'd like to build. For the moment, if you are interested in buying one, you can email me at ckcollection2019@gmail.com. Thank you for watching, and this is CK. Catch you in the next video.